Hello, my name is Conor McKibbin. Today I am interviewing Archie Kimmins as my local sport hero. Thanks for coming down here today, Archie, and giving up your time to take part in this interview as part of the Respect for Your Leadership programme. I'm just going to start by asking you a few questions about your childhood. Where did you grow up and what was your childhood like?
Well, I grew up in Barcroft and childhood was great. We are very lucky in Barcroft to have the body field, which is right at my back door. So I spent most of my childhood playing football, soccer and gaelic in the body field. And every day, especially during the summer, you'd been in the body field from day to night. Your parents would have been out looking for you, same with all the rest of the boys. And as far as the Gaelic side of it, we used to have some great matches in it between all the mates, and we'd split ourselves into Armagh down. And you could imagine they used to get quite feisty from a very young age. But that's where I grew up, and some great times, Barcroft.
Had you any other interests other than sport as a child?
Yeah, I done a lot of stuff. I done archery, believe it or not. I played the tin whistle, played the guitar, liked music when I was younger. I was into every kind of sport going. Played basketball, played golf, played tennis, just anything to pass the time. And yeah, done lots of stuff.
I know you played a lot of GAA and soccer growing up. Could you tell me how you started playing?
Again, it goes back to the days in the Barleyfield in Barcroft. That's all we done when we were kids, playing football. And I think that generation that I grew up with, a lot of good footballers came out of it. And that was solely down to the fact that we were never in the house. We were always out playing football. And I suppose I had a good group of lads, mates that were like-minded. And we were always playing football, and that's how the interest started.
So for soccer, what teams did you grow up playing for?
The first team I can remember playing for in soccer was a team called Cleary Rovers, run by Paddy Haven and John Dorn. I played for them at under 10, and I only played for them for one season until I was scouted by a team in Belfast called Celtic Boys. And when I was 11, I went and started playing for Celtic Boys in Belfast. And as far as the GAA goes, I played for Corrinshego, Thomas Davis Corrinshego, from I was under 10. And at that time, there wasn't as much, let's say, administration, but we also played for down clubs at the same time. So I played for the Shamrocks as well, at under 10 as well. So every night of the week I was playing football.
Could you tell us a wee bit more about what it was like to be scouted for Celtic Boys at such a young age?
It was very exciting, I have to say, coming from Uri to go down to Belfast. And what happened at that time was I wasn't the only one. There was different boys from Uri were also scouted, but there were different age groups. So you had older boys. I remember Tommy Mooney, John Tumbledy, Sean Casey. They were all down the same time as me. So we would get picked up on a Friday night, and we would be taken to Belfast. The match was usually on a Saturday morning, so we would stay overnight in somebody's house, and it could be a different house every weekend. And then, which was exciting because you didn't know what part of the city you were going to be in. And I have to say that people treated us brilliantly. You know, they had going and staying in somebody's house, putting us up, making us breakfast. It was great. We had to wear a uniform at the time. It was black trousers, and a green jumper, a white shirt, and a tie with the Celtic crest on it. Your boots had to be immaculate or you get fined. You know, this is at 11 years of age. Your strip was immaculately laid out in the changing rooms. You had your own spot in the change rooms. It was run very professionally, and they took great pride in it. The club was actually affiliated to Celtic, so at our dinner dances, you would have had players coming over. I remember Alan McKnight, Anton Rogan, any players from the north that were playing for Celtic at the time would always be in and around the club. It was really, it opened my eyes coming from Uri. Even though I hadn't played too much football, I was only 11 years of age. It really opened my eyes to what a club could be run like. It was absolutely fantastic, and I was blessed to play for that club. And I played up there till I was 15.
Have you any other trials with soccer over the years?
Yes, I had trials with Northern Ireland at under 14, and I went to the trials, and my father took me to the trials in Randallstown, and I actually had a brilliant trial, and unfortunately we got a phone call to the house one day to say that it wouldn't be getting picked, and it wasn't the manager of, it wasn't one of the mentors or managers from the Northern Ireland setup. It was the manager of Celtic Boys, and he said that unfortunately that any guys from our team will be overlooked. And at the time, the trials were for a competition in England, in Newcastle. Anyway, I didn't get picked, and Rosario came in, another team from Belfast, who were going to the same competition. They asked would I go and play, do nets for them, and I said I would. So we went to Newcastle and played the tournament, and lo and behold, who did we play? Northern Ireland, and we won 7-1 against them, so it worked out okay in the end. I was also offered trials with Leeds when I was 14. Again, I was playing for Celtic Boys, and I just didn't feel that I was at the level that I would have needed to be to play football across the water. I was only 14. It's a bit daunting, I have to say. At that time, I remember thinking to myself, I don't want to leave home. And I turned it down.
You said you didn't regret not going to Leeds. Could you tell us why?
People have often asked me did I regret it, and I don't. I actually don't. In my life, I was very soccer orientated, and I was playing soccer morning and night, every night, different teams. Said I played for Celtic Boys. When I came home during the week, if I was free, I would have played for Ballabot at the time. I was just very soccer oriented, and then after I turned down that trial, at the same time I was playing corner football in the Abbey, along with Chris Coffey, the McAtees, Barry Duffy, and the McNulty, all top class Gaelic footballers, and 5 or 6 of them went on to win All Ireland in 2002. And I started really enjoying playing Gaelic football, and it was like a turning point in my life. I took the soccer less seriously and started pushing more towards Gaelic. I still played soccer, but not at the same level as it was. The really honest answer to that question is I don't regret it, because it pushed me more towards the Gaelic. Whereas if I had went to England, and whether it worked or not, if it worked, I probably never would have played Gaelic again.
Did you ever have to choose between GAA or soccer?
Very rarely. There comes an odd time, especially when it comes to championship, that you would have to make a choice. Obviously, when it gets more serious and you're growing up, you do sometimes have to make a choice. But there was never really a lot of people putting pressure on you to choose one or the other, which I thought was good.
You played for Armad. When did you end up playing for them, and what position did you play?
I played for Armagh Minors in 1995. I had just turned 18. I'm still underage for minors. So I got called up into the minor team, and we played a championship match against Derry, in which I had a good game, and I got called straight into the senior team the week after the match. So I actually played for the next few months. Then after that, I played minor, under-21 and senior. But the funny thing was I was in the senior team before I got into the under-21 team.
You spoke about playing with a lot of boys from the Armagh team. Were you in and around that panel at the time?
Oh, is this the 2002 panel?
Yeah.
The one they are on. That age group, yes, that was the age group I grew up in, and we played together at minor and under 21s. But the funny thing was that I progressed into the senior team before the McEntees or Aidan O'Rourke or Enda McNulty. Probably because there wasn't too many goalkeepers about at that time, so it was probably a harder position to fill. But as I said, I was 18. I got called into the senior team, and I was due to start my first game, funny enough, against Down in the marshes. And I remember coming out to the changing rooms that day in the Armad tracksuit for the warm up, and some of the guys that I played with in the Shamrocks were looking at me as if, how the hell are you playing for Armagh? Went out and I was due to start, and we were warming up, and I went to touch the ball over the bar, and my glove caught on the hook on the net. So I dangled in mid-air for a second, and then heard the crack, and I realised that I'd broken my finger. So I had to go and tell the management that I'd broken my finger, and so I didn't start that day. Benny Kenny went in the net. But that was the National League, and at that time, National League's all after Christmas now, but at that time we played 3 games before Christmas. You took a break at Christmas, and then you went back in at the end of January and started the next part of the league. During the break at Christmas, I went and played for Kerry Celtic. Lo and behold, I torn the ligaments in a soccer game. That put an end to my county career. So that's why, I don't know about what happened anyway, but that's why I didn't progress with those other boys into 2002.
You mentioned you got a bad injury in your knee. Did that stop you from playing any football over the time?
It kept me out for 18 months the first time. Because I done it playing soccer, I didn't get an operation, which is quite common now. I just had to do the rehab, build the muscle up, and get back in it. Unfortunately, about a year after that, I tore the ligaments in my other knee, playing for Kerry Celtic again against Newry Celtic in Drummond Lane. So that kept me out for 2 years the second time. But after that, I came back and I had no other serious injuries, thank God, until I retired when I was 40.
Who was the best player you ever played with?
Well, I'm going to have to pick in soccer, one in soccer and one in gaelic probably. Best player I ever played with in soccer would probably be Donny Biff Gray. He was an outstanding footballer, absolutely fantastic. And he was fantastic in any sport. He could have put his mind to anything, in any position. He was just naturally gifted sports person. And in gaelic, and I'm going to have to say John McEntee. We grew up playing in the Abbey together, and then we played for Armagh Minors together, and then under 21s and seniors. So we had a good relationship, and again, fantastic footballer with one of the best left foots I've ever seen.
Who was your sporting hero growing up and why?
That's a very easy one for me. It's a man who coached and mentored me from I was under 10 until I was a senior footballer, and in every age group. That was a man called Frank Harvey. He was a coach at Thomas Davis. He's still involved in the club. He's our treasurer, and he almost single-handedly from the early 80s on right through till now, until the club expanded. At times single-handedly took every age group in that club. But he done more than that. I remember us playing football in the Barleykin, and at that age at that time your parents didn't take you to matches or training or anything. You went yourself. You walked to the pitch or you walked to somebody's house, might have got a lift, So there's nobody really forcing you to go. But I remember us nights, bright nights, playing down in the body field, messing about, and next minute Frank would be at the top of the steps shouting, "Come on boys, he's ready to go to football." Single-handedly, he would go around and round up all the players and take them up. And that went on from I was 10 until he took me right into the Armagh team. And when I got onto the Armagh team, I couldn't drive. I didn't drive. And he said, "Right, I'll take you to training. I'll take you to the matches." And he was everything to me. Only for Frank Harvey, I wouldn't have got to play for Armagh. I wouldn't have played so long in the GAA. He's definitely my sporting hero.
What was your biggest accomplishment in your sporting career?
I think probably getting on to the Armagh senior team. That was a big accomplishment for me at the time, because my father just died. My mother died when I was younger, and my father just died, and I was actually living in a house of my own at 18 years of age, and things weren't great, but I ended up getting picked onto the panel, and I have to say at the time it was a great accomplishment for myself.
What were the biggest challenges you faced in your career?
Yeah, both parents died young. I was living in a house of my own just at a time when you should be really doing something in your football career, and I found it difficult because I had no guidance, and it was quite tough mentally at that time. And I have to say that it was the football, both soccer and Gaelic, that mentally kept the head right, getting out of the house, socialising. It was a good distraction from the stuff that was going on in the background.
What was the best advice you were ever given in your sporting career?
Never give up. I know it's a cliche, but it's true. It's true. If you want something hard enough and you put the hours in, you get knocked back. I played in teams that weren't great. Went 3 seasons where we didn't win a match, but you hang in there, you get there, and you put the work in. And it's like any sport, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. It's the same for both Gaelic and soccer. And just never give up and put the work in, and you'll get your rewards.
What advice would you give me and other young people like me who are starting their sporting careers?
Never give up. If you want something hard enough, you put the hours in, you put the work in, you'll get there. I have to say, being coached by some great coaches during my time, and I have had a lot, there's great pieces of advice you can pick up, and no two coaches are the same, but I would say listen to your coaches, take in what you can, and never disregard any wee bits of information that a coach or a mentor is giving you, because you'll always gain great wee bits of information from them, from every single one, right through up as you're growing up. You'll take something from everybody, and always learn, never stop learning.
I know you're involved a lot with your local GAA club, Thomas Davis. What is that like?
It's great. It's a club I've grew up playing for, as I said, since I was under 10. Played 25 years for the seniors, from I was 15 until I was 40. I'm the chairman now for my sins, and I didn't think it would be as time consuming as it is, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Is it true the club are hosting a music festival? Words out.
Yes, it's true. We're hosting a music festival in May, second bank holiday in May. It's called Your Music Fest. So it's a pretty big festival. It's going to be in a massive marquee over 4 days, 4 nights, from Thursday to Sunday. Some big bands, Tumbling Paddies, High Steel Prophets, Bulla Bulla, amongst others. Yeah, it's a big undertaking by the club. So hopefully we get the crowds out for a good weekend and a bit of crack.
Thank you, Archie, for allowing me and everyone to get this insight onto your life and sporting career. All the best for everything you do in the future.
You're very welcome, Conor. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.